Hey NBA fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Chat Sports, and today we have some fresh NBA news and rumors. A lot of trade rumors heating up. We are less than a month away from the NBA trade deadline. Things are going to be happening very, very soon. Let's dive in with the latest on what we're hearing around the NBA, starting with Warriors and 76ers. D'Angelo Russell for Ben Simmons. This one is real. It's not just, us pulling stuff out of our butts. This is a real trade rumor that has been circulating around the NBA. Essentially, the Sixers have been linked to wanting to trade Ben Simmons, possibly because they think he's not, going to turn into a player that can win an NBA title alongside Joel Embiid, mainly because of his poor shooting that has not gotten better this year. The Warriors have been linked to D'Angelo Russell, potentially staying, potentially being traded as well. I remember reporting a couple weeks back saying that the Warriors were not actively calling teams, but they were listening to trade offers if a team went ahead and called them. There is one Bay Area columnist, according to some other people as well, but Marcus Thompson has a quote here talking about the interesting possibility between D'Angelo Russell and Ben Simmons for a swap player-for-player trade. Take a look at this. Quote, "One of the interesting possibilities I've heard being kicked around is D'Angelo Russell for Philadelphia's Ben Simmons. Sixers could use a point guard who can score and run the show and shoot. Some believe the pairing of Simmons and big man Joel Embiid isn't viable in their pursuit of a championship." All right, here's the deal. A lot of Sixer fans are going to see this. They're going to go in the comments down below and go, "This is so dumb. Why would we trade 23-year-old Ben Simmons, future superstar?" It's exactly what Marcus Thompson said. There are some people, including people in the organization, who do not believe that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid paired together is a match made for championships. Yes, they're fun, but they actually kind of take up the same space because Ben Simmons can't shoot. They both work within 10 to 15 feet of the basket. Joel Embiid can't stay healthy, and Ben Simmons can't shoot. Those are the problems right now in Philadelphia. So, what would happen if you were to trade a Ben Simmons for a player like D'Angelo Russell who can run the show, who can score, and who, guess what, can also shoot? It all would make sense. Now, Ben Simmons is fit with the Warriors. No idea what it would look like in terms of him alongside future healthy Steph Curry and future healthy Klay Thompson. Could they turn around and trade him for other assets? No idea, but this makes a lot of sense in terms of my opinion for the 76ers. Their side-by-side stats you see popped up right here. D'Angelo Russell scoring almost double the points as Ben Simmons. He has less rebounds and less assists overall, but still, if you wanted to swap a great defensive player in terms of what Ben Simmons is, swap a guy who can play well in the paint and defend your other opponent's best player, swap him for a guy who can, kind of defend, but really score and shoot from downtown. It's an interesting trade scenario here for the Sixers and the Warriors. Again, it makes sense if you're from the standpoint that Ben Simmons is never going to become a good shooter in the NBA. Sure, maybe next year, maybe the year after that he becomes a good shooter, but right now, how long have we waited for Ben Simmons to improve his long-range game, and how long have we sat and watched him not improve his long-range game? These are rumors that are circulating. Here's the first one. Ben Simmons for D'Angelo Russell, a straight-up trade. Warriors for 76ers. We'll see what happens over the next couple of months. Before we move on, quick ad break here on YouTube. Don't worry about the ads. Scroll down below and answer this question. Should the 76ers trade Ben Simmons? Can they win with Ben Simmons? Answer the question down below before we move on. All right, so multiple reports as we continue here out of Lakerland in terms of what the Lakers are planning on doing at the NBA trade deadline. Couple of new stuff that has just recently dropped here. One, of course, Kyle Kuzma, not really new there, but there's more on that in a second. And two, the LA Times reports that the Lakers, Rob Pelinka, who's in charge of everything right now, is willing to trade everybody but LeBron James and Anthony Davis, according to, again, the LA Times. All right, let's start with Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma is averaging his fewest points, minutes, and shots of his career. It's proof. It's very obvious he is not a good fit with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Past couple of games when LeBron James and Anthony Davis, at least Anthony Davis was out, I think he dropped, 26 against the Mavericks and then 36 the other night whenever LeBron was out. Might have been flip-flop, but either way, he's scoring whenever LeBron and Anthony Davis are not on the floor, which of course obviously is not something that the Lakers want. They need guys who can score when LeBron and Anthony Davis are already on the floor. One trade that has been possibly thrown out there is Kyle Kuzma for Robert Covington of the T-Wolves, who's more of a 3-and-D guy, which we know when you have a guy like LeBron James, you want to surround him with shooters who can shoot threes and who can also play great defense. You guys think a lot what they did down in Miami whenever LeBron James was there. They had Ray Allen, they had Shane Battier, they had 3-and-D guys. That's exactly what Robert Covington is. Here's a potential trade thrown out there by ESPN. Kyle Kuzma, Quinn Cook, DeMarcus Cousins for Robert Covington straight up. Now, again, you got to figure out cap space, got to figure out money. That was a possible trade the Lakers could pull off to try and get Robert Covington. But the other report that the LA Times is saying the Lakers are willing to trade anyone But Braun and Anthony Davis should come to no shock to absolutely anybody. Rob Pelinka has said many times he wants to win championships. That's LeBron's goal. It's Anthony Davis's goal. And if anybody can be traded to get someone who is an upgrade for the Lakers, look for Pelinka to do it. I think the Lakers are going to be very active at the trade deadline. LeBron has seen what he has. He knows what he wants. He will go to Rob Pelinka. He'll talk to Anthony Davis, and they will get a trade done for somebody, whether it's getting rid of Kuzma, keeping Kuzma, getting Robert Covington, getting someone completely random. We don't know, but look for the Lakers to be very, very active at the trade deadline. Before we move on our way to 160,000 subscribers here on Chat Sports, be sure to subscribe. Plenty of NBA trade news as we get you guys ready to go for the NBA trade deadline. Click the red subscribe button down below. And before we go on, also, if you have not bet on any NBA games so far this year, we got you a promo code right here with our friends at BetDSI. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code DEAL120. Get a 120% deposit bonus whenever you sign up. Other bit of news here. This one coincides with the rumor as well. Remember whenever the NBA is started to be hinting about some scheduling reseeding, some playoff reseeding, and a play into the postseason? Remember this whole scheduling change that the NBA is floating out there? Well, apparently, everything that they want to have happen is going to be voted on in April, except for one new change here. The reseeding of the top 4 teams in each conference might not happen. So here's the proposed NBA changes that have been leaked out there that the NBA might want to go ahead and do to try to drive up ratings during the regular season. 1 is an in-season tournament. 2 is a postseason play-in tournament for the 7 and 8 seeds, meaning you take like the 7 through 10 seed and then make them all play each other, and that decides the final 2 playoff spots in each conference. And the final one here is a reseed for the top 4 teams. That way, if you have the 2 best teams in the West, the Western Conference Finals is not the de facto NBA Finals. You would have a mix-up there of West and East teams. Those are all fascinating, although apparently, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the NBA is most likely going to vote for the in-season tournament, for the 7 and 8 seed play-in tournament as well, but they might not vote on the reseeding, and I'll tell you why. There are owners and GMs around the National Basketball Association who are worried about travel time. Yes, this is the reason they're not going to vote on this thing. Travel time. What they said is, if you have a reseeding and you have 2 teams that are close proximity to each other play each other in terms of the top 2 seeds, then that means it's a disadvantage if 2 teams are seeded in a way where they have to travel very, very far. Think about it. If the Lakers had to play the Miami Heat, West Coast versus Eastern Conference, because again, you're reseeding, that means you're going from LA, a couple of games, over to Miami for a couple of games. That is a lot of travel, whereas another team, kind of stuck in the Midwest there, might be able to not have to travel as far and give them an advantage. Now, again, the Eastern Conference has always had an advantage in this. The Western Conference has always had to travel more in terms of the postseason. That's just a fact of how the geographic location of the United States works out. But the fact that they don't want to vote on the reseeding mainly because of a potential travel issue, to me, is very, very dumb. The NBA needs to do something in terms of making the regular season matter more. NBA ratings have tanked this year. They're down over 22%. This is a way to do it, especially if it means that, hey, just because I'm the 2nd seed in the East or the 3rd seed in the East, I can get higher, I can get lower depending on my record. This needs to get voted on. But again, the rumor is this might not actually happen because of travel, which again, the NBA is a travel nightmare in general because it's 82 games. Anyway, let's move on. Before we go, though, would you guys like these scheduling changes? Again, the in-season tournament, the postseason play-in for the bottom 2 seeds, and the reseeding of the top 4 teams. Is that good? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. Final rumor here. This one revolves around Andre Drummond. Talked about Andre Drummond a lot here at Chat Sports. There are 3 teams, apparently, very much interested in the NBA's, one of the better big men in the NBA from Detroit. This is one of the rumors experts are saying. One of the trade guys that will get dealt at the deadline. It's a matter of to who. So here are your 3 teams. The Hawks have called about Drummond, the Hornets called about Drummond, and the Knicks recently have called about Drummond, although there is a conflicting report saying the Knicks have not called about Drummond. So there were multiple reports saying they have, and there was one saying that they haven't. I would argue the Knicks most likely have went ahead and made a call for Andre Drummond. Here's the problem, though. The Athletic's Sam Amick reported Friday that the Hawks, quote, could have landed Drummond already if they were willing to include a first-round pick in the deal. This is what is holding down potential Drummond trades. The Pistons are not just trying to get rid of Andre Drummond and take some cap space and move on. They want a true starter in return, or they want a first-round draft pick, and apparently that is what's holding up all of these deals. The Hawks have players that they could offer him. Kevin Huerter, for instance, Alex Len, for instance. They have some bench players like Jabari Parker, but they probably do not want to get rid of a first-round draft pick, and hence the deal has not gotten done. Likewise, Knicks, Hornets, they're sitting there going, yeah, we'd like Andre Drummond, and we have some pieces to give you, but we do not want to give up a first-round pick, and that is what is holding up the Andre Drummond trade right now. Now, still a month to go. Bidding wars happen. People get desperate as the February 7th deadline looms. Maybe someone forks over a first-round draft pick, but of the teams that are interested, Hawks, Hornets, and Knicks, none of them have offered a first-round draft pick, and that is what is holding back Detroit from trying to go ahead and trade Andre Drummond. Is Andre Drummond a top 5 big man in the NBA? Type 1 down below for yes, type 2 down below for no, because he could be one of the bigger dominoes to fall as we get closer to February 7th. Other than that, that's what we're hearing right now in terms of all the NBA rumors, all the NBA trade stuff. This is all changing. Teams put out smoke screens. We have no idea exactly what is going to happen, but I do feel confident the Sixers and Warriors will at least have a conversation about D'Lo, potentially for Ben Simmons. Don't be surprised if Ben Simmons gets traded at the NBA trade deadline. The Sixers, I don't think, truly believe he's a future superstar because he can't score. The Lakers are literally going to shop anybody and everybody besides LeBron and Anthony Davis. That should come as no surprise to anybody. These NBA reseeding, mid-season tournament stuff, I think vote on all three, but it looks like travel is the reason why the NBA does not want to vote on the top 4 reseeding teams in terms of the April potential voting. We'll see what happens with that. And then Andre Drummond, again, the Hawks have called about Drummond. The Knicks have called about Drummond. The Hornets have called about Drummond, but no one has offered a first-round draft pick. So here we are. No trade is in the works just yet. All time we have for today. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott. Those are all your NBA news and rumors for the day. I'm Thomas Mott again, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.